Welcome back to the Texas music scene, friends. I'm Jack Ingram, and I play country music. Well, so does my friend Kaitlin Butts. She's fantastic. This Oklahoma native has been one of the more buzzworthy artists in the scene over the last several years. And guess what? She's just getting started. Here's a backstage conversation at Texas Live in Arlington where we talk up her second full-length album called What Else Can She Do? Oh, we're about to find out.
I'll chase you around, low and high, yeah. We're just out of reach, we're just out of sight. Like the Marfa lights, like the Marfa lights.
I've been singing since I was 5 years old, and it's been the constant my whole life. And my mom took me to a gymnastics class, and I was singing and dancing in the mirror the whole time. So the teacher was like, "Hey, you need to get this girl in a musical theater class. She does not like to do cartwheels. She's not limber either." And so I went to musical theater. I did ballet, tap, jazz, musical theater. I did the whole, triple threat thing. And then I picked up the guitar. And at the time, it was Miranda Lambert, it was the Chicks, and it was Taylor Swift that were really just kind of being thrown in my face as a 14, 15-year-old girl. And I saw women, writing their own songs, performing them, at a high level and playing their instruments. And that's just something that I looked to, and I was like, I want to do that.
It's not your fault I ruin everything, and it's not your fault I can't be what you need. Baby, angels like you can fly down here with me. I'm everything they said I would be.
What country music was what I heard on the radio and what I saw on the CMAs, that there was no knowledge of this whole community of people that, you can live and tour in Texas your whole life and make a living. And just this huge following for it too, of this middle ground where you can be a songwriter and also tour, but you don't have to be like a Carrie Underwood level to succeed. I had no knowledge of that. In 2018, I released White River, which is someone for a long time was hurting someone that I love very much, and I was thinking of ways that I could deal with them, I guess. Awake me is very logical and tries to work through problems in calm ways, but asleep me has different ideas sometimes. And asleep me was like, what if we just killed them and took them to the river and, killed them. And so I woke up and wrote a song about the dream that I had that night, just about taking care of that problem. In February of 2021, we moved back to Nashville from my mom's house in Ardmore. Within 2 days, I went into the studio and recorded this full album that I just released. Day 5 of us living in Nashville, I released How Lucky Am I as a Valentine's Day present to my husband, Cleto Cordero.
When am I the one to make all the moves? With you, I feel like I can break all the rules. Oh, how lucky am I to be sitting with you?
Marfa Lights and How Lucky Am I were both demos that I just fell, and White River were all demos that I just fell in love with because my producer, Orrin Thornton, he was my producer on those songs and my producer on my album. I just played those songs acoustic, and then he built off of that in the studio with other guys and just sent the tracks to me, and I was just thinking how could they get any better? This is exactly what I had in my brain. It feels so good to work with someone who is on the same wavelength as me. I just have to say a couple key words or a couple songs in reference that I would like for it to kind of sound like, or a guitar tone that I really like, or play him a rhythm, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about and is able to articulate it in musicians' terms, where sometimes I'm doing mouth guitar solos and he will make that into something, tangible that is music.
But it won't always be this way. It won't always be this way. Don't know how many times I'll say it won't always be this way.
Won't Always Be This Way, I feel like was totally written from my perspective. But it was if you're just not thinking about my story at all, it's about a mom, wanting to take her child out of a bad situation. That is totally from my point of view.
So she wakes up and puts on her apron. What else can she do?
The title track, that melody, running wild in her mind, really felt like I just covered Red-Headed Stranger for something, and I was listening to a lot of Willie Nelson, and I think that definitely the way that kind of scoops up and is kind of conversational, I felt like sounded like a Willie Nelson thing to do. Once I felt that, I just kind of wanted to go full send Willie Nelson with the instrumentation and have some of the little guitar things that he has in there. If there was one song that I could show to Willie Nelson, this would be it. He's just been such a huge influence where I just wanted to incorporate that influence into my sound and tell a story the way that I think that he would too.
Dragging my name through the mud and got awful things swept under the rug. For blood.
It's a very dark album, and I don't think that life is all that pretty sometimes. I really wanted people to see a tone shift, especially with releasing the first track, Blood, off of there. I really wanted people to know that what was coming was not like anything like I had released before. This is the real stuff. I'd worked the hardest to tell this story.
Blood, merciless blood, dragging my